Hello, and welcome to History of the Universe. Tonight, we begin with a question as old as thought itself. A question that may have whispered into the minds of ancient stargazers, and now finds its voice again. In you was the universe, born from nothing. We live in a cosmos that is ancient, vast, and breathtakingly complex. Yet, at its core lies a profound mystery. Did everything we see, every star, every thought, every atom, emerge from true emptiness? Or is nothing simply a word we use to describe what we do not yet understand? Over the next 2 hours, we will drift through the earliest imaginable moments, to the birth of the first light, through strange ideas of time loops and parallel worlds, till we return to Earth, to reflect on what it means that we exist at all. Let your thoughts float. Let the silence between words carry you. This is not a race to understanding. It is a gentle walk along the edge of the unknowable. So close your eyes, if you wish, and begin this journey into the origin of everything. Before time, a universe awakens. Before we can ask what the universe came from, we must understand what it means to begin. The word nothing is deceptively simple. To us, it means emptiness, absence, a blank. But to the physicist, the philosopher, and the dreamer, nothing is far stranger. You may imagine a black void, but even that is something. It has a texture, a sense of direction. It has space. What if, instead, there was no space, no time, no up, no down, no rules, no laws, just non-existence? And then, somehow, there was a spark. This is what we call the Big Bang. The beginning of time itself, the Big Bang, is not an explosion in space. It is the beginning of space, the beginning of time, of distance, of cause and effect, of everything. Before it, if such a word even makes sense, there was no before. Our understanding begins not with a bang, but with an equation, a quiet line of math that suggests, from a singular point, infinitely small, infinitely dense, the universe inflated instantly. It did not grow into space. It created space by growing. The laws of physics, the ones that govern your heartbeat and the spin of galaxies, were not always there. They, too, had to be born. Somewhere, somehow, the rules were written into existence. Quantum fluctuations, a tremor in the void, you may ask. But how could something come from truly nothing? Quantum physics offers a whisper of an answer. In the realm of the very small, the vacuum is not empty. It seethes with fluctuations, tiny, temporary blips of energy, particles that appear and vanish in pairs, in moments too short to see. We call this the quantum vacuum. And, in a strange twist, it may have birthed everything. Imagine a quiet pond with still water, until the smallest ripple appears. That ripple, if it had just the right energy, could become a wave, and that wave could grow, unstoppable, a ripple, becoming reality. This is one hypothesis, that a random fluctuation in the quantum vacuum, a tremble in the structure of nothing, could have ignited the Big Bang. What was needed? Just imbalance, just enough to tip existence into being. Inflation. The universe expands faster than light. In the first split second of existence, a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second, the universe didn't grow slowly. It exploded outward, faster than the speed of light. This phase is called cosmic inflation. Space itself stretched at a pace beyond comprehension. What was smaller than an atom became the size of galaxies in an instant. No sound, no flame, just expanding space-time. This rapid growth smoothed out the universe. It's why the cosmos looks so flat, so uniform, so quiet, even now. Yet within this smoothness, tiny variations, leftovers from quantum tremors, were stretched into the seeds of stars, galaxies, and worlds. Imagine planting a single grain of sand, and it becoming a mountain range. That's the scale of what inflation did. Time is born. Time, as we understand it, did not tick before the Big Bang. Time began with the universe. It is not separate from it. It flows with the fabric of space. Before time, there was no waiting, no when. The universe did not wait to be born. Its birth was the beginning of when. This is perhaps the most humbling truth, that time is not eternal. It has a beginning. And everything you've ever done, every moment you've ever lived, has unfolded inside this brief, expanding bubble of temporality. The formation of matter in the next few minutes after the Big Bang, the universe cooled. From a soup of energy, particles emerged. Quarks joined to form protons and neutrons. Electrons danced nearby. For hundreds of thousands of years, these particles remained in a hot plasma, a glowing fog. Light could not travel. Everything was opaque. But as the universe expanded, it cooled. And finally, atoms formed, mostly hydrogen, some helium. And when the fog cleared, light, ancient light, was free to move. That light still exists. You can hear it as a faint hiss between radio stations. It surrounds you now. This is the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of creation, a baby picture of the universe. The laws of nature solidify in these earliest seconds and minutes. Not only did matter form, But the laws governing it crystallized. Forces split. Gravity, once unified with the others, took its separate path. The strong nuclear force emerged, gluing nuclei together. The electromagnetic force began to guide light and atoms. The weak nuclear force dictated decay. These forces, for in number, control everything. Their balance, so delicate that, if even one had differed by a fraction, there would be no stars, no planets, no life. You may wonder, why these numbers? Why this balance? There is no answer, only awe. A universe of possibilities. From nothing, or from something smaller than comprehension, came all of this, not suddenly formed, but seeded. The early universe was not filled with galaxies. It was filled with potential. A dark, expanding space, with the promise of light, and the quiet ticking of time, newly born. It would take millions of years for the first star to shine, but already the story had begun. And in the stillness of this ancient birth, we find the most poetic silence, the moment the universe became. Now, as we float further outward, the darkness will give way to form. From darkness to form, the universe finds its shape. After the universe was born, from nothing, or nearly so, it drifted in a kind of radiant silence, expanding, cooling, waiting. There were no stars, no planets, no galaxies, only a vast ocean of hydrogen and helium, thinly spread across endless blackness. And then, one day, millions of years later, darkness ended, till the first light of creation returned, not from the Big Bang, but from the first stars. The cosmic dark ages, before the first stars lit the skies. The universe entered a deep and profound stillness. This period is called the cosmic dark ages. There was no visible light, only cold gas drifting across space. Slow, quiet, patient. Gravity was the only sculptor. It tugged gently on tiny clumps of matter, drawing them inward, forming invisible wells in space. For hundreds of millions of years, these clumps grew, ever so slowly, until the pressure deep within them reached a threshold. And then, for the first time in history, a nuclear fire ignited. A star was born. The first stars, titans in the dark. These were no ordinary stars. They were unlike anything we see today. They were massive, hundreds of times the size of our sun. They lived fast and died young. We call them population 3 stars. They were made only of hydrogen and helium, the raw ingredients of the Big Bang. Inside them, fusion began creating heavier elements: carbon, oxygen, iron. The atoms that would one day form planets, oceans, lungs, and thought. And when these stars died, They did so in enormous explosions, supernova that scattered their insides into the cosmos. This was the first alchemy, the beginning of chemistry, the seeding of future worlds. The universe was no longer just light. It was now becoming galaxies, islands of light in a sea of night. As more stars were born, their gravity pulled them together, tightly bound families of stars and dust. This is how galaxies formed: spirals, ellipses, chaotic clouds, massive, glowing structures that would define the visible universe. Each one a home to billions or even trillions of stars. Each one drifting away from each other as space itself expanded. In time, these galaxies began to cluster. Filaments stretched between them, creating a cosmic web, a structure that resembles neural pathways in the brain. Some galaxies danced with others, colliding slowly over billions of years, triggering new waves of star birth. Even our own Milky Way is in motion, on a slow collision course with the Andromeda Galaxy. A graceful spiral headed our way at hundreds of kilometers per second. Yet still billions of years from impact. Black holes. The universe turns inward in the hearts of most galaxies, including our own, lurks something terrifying and beautiful. A supermassive black hole, born from collapsed stars, or perhaps even earlier. Black holes are regions of space where gravity becomes absolute. Nothing can escape, not even light, but rather than destroying. These giants shape their galaxies. Their gravitational pull affects star formation. Their energetic outbursts can clear away gas or ignite it. We once thought of black holes as monsters. Now we see them as architects. Their quiet presence governs the rhythm of cosmic cities and the echoes of their collisions. Gravitational waves ripple through space itself. We can hear them now as distant chirps in the cosmic silence. The universe listens. Quasars and cosmic beacons in the earliest galaxies. Some black holes became quasars, bright beacons powered by matter, spiraling into oblivion. They are the brightest objects in the universe. So bright, we can see them across billions of light years. Yet, they live briefly, cosmic flares that fade as their black holes calm. When we observe quasars, we are peering into the distant past. Each photon traveled across space for eons, only to arrive now to your eyes. They are memories of the universe's youth, still glowing its cosmic background radiation. The whisper of creation, though not a structure. The cosmic microwave background is perhaps the most iconic moment of all. It is light, ancient light, released when the universe was just 380,000 years old. It tells us about the state of everything its temperature, density, curvature. It is the afterglow of the Big Bang, a soft whisper that still echoes across all of space. Every night, as you look up at the stars, you are surrounded by this light, invisible to your eyes, but ever present, the oldest light there is. A universe now in bloom. The cosmos is no longer in its infancy. It is mature. Live and die in rhythmic cycles, and yet, even now, the universe creates. New stars flicker into life. Gas clouds collapse. Galaxies collide and merge. Even in its silence, the universe still sings. From its earliest fires, to the gentle spiral arms of galaxies, to the stillness of interstellar space, the universe has found its shape, and this shape has made life possible. In our next segment, we will drift away from what we know into what we do not. Dark energy, time travel, and the wild frontiers of theory. What if the universe has no edge and no end? We have traveled through the universe's birth, watched stars ignite and galaxies form, listened to the hum of ancient light, and now we arrive at the edge of knowledge, where observation fades and imagination begins. This is the realm of cosmic mystery, where physics meets poetry, where what we do not know outweighs everything we do. Here, questions are galaxies themselves, vast, expanding, beautifully unanswerable. Dark energy, the force that shouldn't exist in the late 1990s. Astronomers made a strange discovery. They observed that distant galaxies were not just drifting away from us, they were accelerating. Something unseen was pushing the universe apart. We call it dark energy. It makes up nearly 70% of everything. Yet, we have no idea what it is. It could be a property of space itself, an invisible pressure gently inflating the cosmos. Or it could be something stranger, something changing over time, like a tide rising in the vacuum. If dark energy grows stronger, it may tear galaxies apart. It may rip atoms from each other. A possible ending, called the Big Rip, or it may slow, and the universe may collapse back in on itself, in a reversal called the Big Crunch. Or, perhaps, the universe expands forever, fading into cold silence, an end not of fire, but of stillness, time travel, and closed loops time. The silent river we all drift upon is not as steady as it seems. Einstein showed that time bends. It stretches and shrinks depending on gravity, speed, and motion. Near a black hole, time slows in deep space. Time moves faster. So, is time travel possible? According to general relativity, maybe, in theory, closed time-like curves could exist paths through space-time that loop backward on themselves. Wormholes, if they exist, could become tunnels through time, but no evidence of one has ever been found. Even stranger, quantum physics hints that particles may influence each other backward through time, not in a science fiction sense, but in a subtle, ghost-like way. What does it mean? If the future can affect the past, what does it mean? That we still do not know what time really is. The multiverse. Are we one of infinite realities? If the universe came from a ripple, why only one ripple? Some physicists propose that our universe is just one bubble in an infinite sea. This is the multiverse. Each universe may have its own laws, its own gravity, its own time. Some may collapse instantly, others may never form stars, and in one, everything happened just like here, except you took a different path. This idea may never be proven. It may lie beyond testable science. But in the mathematics, in the patterns left in background radiation, in the quiet questions of quantum mechanics, the idea of other universes keeps appearing, and if they exist, then our universe, so vast, so rich, may be only a tiny sliver of all that is. Could the universe be a simulation? Now we step fully into philosophical terrain. What if everything we know, time, space, energy, is not fundamental, but computed? What if we, and the universe itself, exist inside a vast, complex simulation? This idea, once the domain of fiction, now finds some footing in theoretical physics. Some suggest that the laws of nature look coded, digital, finite. Some believe a simulated universe could explain the fine-tuning of physical constants, or the strange probabilistic nature of quantum physics. If we are simulated, does that mean there is a creator? Or are we the byproduct of a system running beyond comprehension? Whether or not the simulation hypothesis is true, it forces us to ask, what is real? And how would we even know? Information and the universe's hidden code, at the heart of all these mysteries, lies something even more subtle than atoms or energy. Information in physics. Information cannot be destroyed. Even in a black hole, it must remain somewhere. This has led to a radical idea that the universe itself may be made not of matter or space, but of bits. Tiny, yes, no choices, on, off, 1, 0. Reality as a kind of cosmic computer. Not metaphorically, literally, a universe of logic woven with poetry. We may be part of a giant, unfolding equation, guided by unknown rules, playing itself out across eternity. Or perhaps there is no rulebook at all, just randomness, that, through infinite chance, gave rise to form, to structure, to us. The mystery at the center, every mystery we explore, leads us back to a single question. Why is there something rather than nothing? The equations do not say. The models do not answer. The universe is silent on the matter. And yet, we are here, made of stardust, held together by gravity, lit from within by consciousness. The mystery persists, and perhaps that is the most beautiful thing. In our final segment, we return to Earth, to the strange and sacred truth that this vast, ancient universe somehow gave rise to life, to thought, to us. The universe within us, from stardust to awareness, after 2 hours of timeless space, endless stars and invisible forces, we return now to a small, pale world, suspended in a quiet arm of a spiral galaxy. Earth, a dot, a breath, a whisper in an expanding universe. And yet, everything we know, everything we feel, everything we love has happened here. Why? How? What does this vast cosmic history mean for us? The stardust within you, the atoms in your body, did not come from Earth. They were forged in stars, billions of years ago, in the heart of a sun that lived and died long before our solar system formed. Your carbon, your oxygen, your iron was born in fire, scattered across the galaxy by ancient supernova. When you breathe, you share molecules with trees, oceans, comets, and stars. You are not separate from the universe. You are a piece of it, thinking. Earth, a fragile miracle Earth, is not typical. It orbits a stable star in a quiet part of the galaxy, at just the right distance for liquid water, with a magnetic field that shields it from radiation, and a moon that stabilizes its tilt. These small details are not guaranteed. They are gifts, or accidents, or both. We live on a rock, with the right chemistry to build life, the right warmth to nurture it, and the right complexity to allow thought. No other world, as far as we know, can say the same. The universe created conditions that allowed this planet to awaken consciousness. The universe looks back somewhere along the way. Earth began to know itself. Single-celled organisms became multicellular. Complexity bloomed. Life adapted, grew, suffered, evolved. And eventually, a species emerged that could wonder where it came from. You, a being that looks up at the same stars that formed it and asks, why? Consciousness is perhaps the most mysterious force in the cosmos, more mysterious than gravity or dark energy. It cannot be touched. We do not fully understand how it works, and yet it is how we know everything. The universe became aware through us. We are stardust, waking up. The cosmic mirror when you close your eyes at night. You are part of a story that began 13.8 billion years ago. You are a continuation of that first ripple. That tiny imbalance, that spark in the void. Every thought you've ever had was enabled by nuclear fusion. Gravity, time, your heartbeat is rhythmic because the universe has rhythm. You are not on Earth, you are of Earth, and Earth is of the stars. The mystery endures even now, with telescopes reaching into the dark, with supercomputers simulating the beginning of time, with equations describing quarks and galaxies. We do not know why the universe exists. We do not know why something came from nothing, but maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the mystery is what makes it sacred. We live inside a riddle so vast, so ancient, that to ask the question is already to be changed by it. And in the quiet space between the stars, in the silence of night, the universe may not answer us, but it listens. A final thought. You were not meant to understand all of this at once. You were meant to feel it, to breathe with it, to carry it gently in your thoughts as you fall asleep. The universe is not separate from you. It flows through you with every breath, every quiet heartbeat, as you drift now toward rest. Remember, you are not small. You are vast, because the universe is inside you. Where does it all go from here? The stars have spoken. The galaxies have formed. And life, for a brief moment, has opened its eyes. But now, we begin to wonder, where is all this going? The universe is still expanding, still drifting outward in every direction. But how long will it last? Will it change? Will it end? This is the story not of beginnings, but of the far, far future. The great cosmic afterword, still unwritten, the quiet fade of stars, our sun. Now strong, golden, and warm, will one day burn its last drop of fuel. It will expand into a red giant, swallowing the inner planets, then collapse into a white dwarf, a glowing ember the size of Earth. But it will not be alone. Across the universe, every star will face its end. Massive stars will explode as supernova, leaving behind black holes or neutron stars. Smaller stars will dim and cool, and then a strange, haunting silence will fall. This era is called the degenerate age, when stars no longer shine, when only their ashes remain. Red dwarfs, the last light, the smallest stars, called red dwarfs, burn slowly, gently, and for trillions of years. They will be the last to flicker, the final lanterns in an ever-darkening sky, one by one. They too will go out, and when the last star dies, the universe will enter a new phase, a long night without light. Black dwarfs and ghost galaxies, what remains after the stars fade, cinders. Dead stars, called black dwarfs, cold, dense, invisible. Galaxies will still exist, but emptied of light. Dark matter will still shape their curves, but they will become ghost cities, drifting in a cosmic dusk. No new stars will form, no new light will rise, only gravity and time. The end scenarios, but will it stay that way? Or will something else come? Scientists have imagined several possible futures. 1. Heat death, the most widely accepted vision. Energy spreads thinner and thinner until everything reaches a cold, uniform silence. No contrast, no change, just quiet. 2. The big red. If dark energy continues to grow stronger, galaxies, stars, planets, atoms, all torn apart by accelerating space, a final unraveling. 3. The Big Crunch, an older theory. If gravity someday overcomes expansion, the universe may collapse inward, returning to a singularity. A reset. 4. The Big Bounce. Perhaps the universe has done this before, and will do it again. Expansion, collapse, rebirth. In this view, we live in a cycle, a breathing universe. Hawking radiation and the end of black holes, even black holes, once thought eternal, have a final chapter. Stephen Hawking showed us that black holes slowly lose mass. They emit faint radiation, and over unimaginable time, they shrink. A small black hole might evaporate in a trillion years. At the end, even they will vanish. No stars, no light, no black holes. Only particles floating through a quiet, frozen sea. Codes of intelligence, but what of life? Could intelligence survive at the edge of eternity? Some theorize advanced beings might harness black holes to power civilizations for eons. Others dream of data life, beings made of pure information, drifting through quantum substrates or migrating across universes. If such things exist, but all these are guesses, hopes, longings in the dark. The truth may be simpler. One day, the last thought will be had. The last word will be spoken. The last dream will dissolve, and the universe will fall quiet. A peaceful ending. This might sound sad, but maybe it is not. Maybe the universe does not fear its ending. Maybe it embraces it, just as it embraced its birth. In the quiet, there is beauty. In the fade, there is grace. The universe gave us light, time, and the ability to wonder. What more could we ask? And now, as we approach the edge of time itself, we have one last place to visit: the heart, the soul, the meaning of it all. What does it all mean? We have wandered through stars and darkness, through time and particles, through mystery and silence. We followed the universe from a possible nothingness to a glowing beginning, to a gentle fading. But now, we must ask what lies beyond science, not in space, but within ourselves. What is the meaning of a universe like this? What are we supposed to feel in the face of forever? This final chapter is not for solving. It is for sitting with. Why is there something rather than nothing? Of all the questions that haunt the human mind, this may be the oldest. Why is there something at all? Why does reality exist? Why not eternal silence? Could nothing ever have been truly stable? Or is nothing itself just an illusion? Maybe nothingness is impossible. Maybe existence is simply the default. Or maybe it was a choice. The truth is, we do not know, and maybe we never will. Matter, we never will. But even in not knowing, there is wonder. Does the universe have a purpose? Is all of this just accident? A ripple in a quantum void, spinning out stars, light, and minds? Or is it purposeful? Is there some intelligence, some intention? Perhaps the purpose of the universe is simply to exist, to be, to unfold. Or perhaps its purpose is to become aware of itself, through you, through thought, through love. Purpose may not be written in the stars, but in your questions, in your longing, in your choice to care. Patterns, symmetry, and sacred geometry. Why is the universe beautiful? Why do spirals echo in galaxies and seashells? Why do atoms mimic solar systems? Why does math seem built into reality? The Fibonacci sequence appears in pine cones, flowers, hurricanes, and galaxies. Symmetry governs crystals and the Standard Model. Even chaos has structure. Is beauty a cosmic truth, or something we bring to it when we marvel at a spiral nebula or a snowflake? We are seeing order, meaning, and maybe something sacred. Humanity's role in the cosmos if we are just atoms. Why do we dream? If we are brief, why do we love? Are we simply observers, a fluke of chance and biology? Or are we participants, able to shape the future of consciousness? We are the universe, looking at itself. Through eyes of carbon and thoughts made of lightning, in that reflection, there may be something more than dust. There may be something divine. Embracing the mystery, not everything must be answered. Not everything can be. Some truths live only in the asking. Some peace lives only in the silence. The universe does not need our permission to be vast. It does not need to be explained, to be beautiful, to sit in the dark, to feel small, to wonder is not weakness, it is reverence. You are the universe, dreaming, and now, as you lie in the dark, somewhere on a little world, spinning through the void, know this: you are not separate from the stars. You are not an outsider here. You are made of ancient dust and burning time. The story of the universe is written in your blood, in your breath, in your being. You are not just in the universe. You are the universe, briefly aware of itself. And in your awareness, the cosmos becomes more than matter. It becomes meaning. A gentle goodbye. This is where the story pauses, not ends. There is no final answer, no last word. Only this moment, only this feeling of awe, of stillness, of floating among stars. So rest now, child of galaxies. Drift among the constellations in your mind. Let the silence of the void hold you gently, and may you dream not of darkness, but of light.